Guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I wanted to touch on a topic that has been on my mind for quite some time now. And as you can tell from the title, we're going to talk about where is the luxury in luxury fashion. Now, I feel like I am a pro at this and I should be talking about this because I have been buying luxury items for many, many years. And to those of you who have been a part of this channel for a long time, you will know this. I literally was so obsessed with luxury. I mean, I was living and breathing luxury fashion. You would not have caught me buying an item, like especially a bag or a pair of shoes that wasn't some sort of designer or brand name. But over the last years, I think we have seen a very big change, and a lot of people are talking about the luxury community dying and luxury dying and all of this stuff. And I've made some videos along those lines as well. But I think we're dealing with a bit of a different issue here, and taking a step back and not indulging in luxury and not being a part of the community the way I used to, it really opened my eyes to some things. I'd be curious to know if some of you have maybe even noticed this as well. So today is going to be a bit of a deep dive into this topic. I have my laptop here. I made a lot of notes, and we're actually going to break this into sections because there are specific topics that I want to discuss. I think it has a lot to do from how we're treated in stores to how items are being produced to influencer marketing. I mean, there's so much to talk about in today's video. So grab yourself something to drink. Let's hang out for a little bit. I got my little iced coffee here, which I put this vanilla bean paste in it from Trader Joe's, which is now sold out everywhere. But if you can get your hands on it, I'd highly recommend it. It's so freaking good. But anyways, let's jump into the topic. So let's take a little trip down memory lane. So back in the day, luxury fashion was meant to be special, right? It wasn't just about wearing a designer label. It was about owning a piece of art. Something rare, something that spoke of true craftsmanship. It was exclusive. Hermes was famous for having a long wait list to get one of their Birkin bags, and couture pieces were only made for a handful of clients. But now things are a little different. Let's be real. Brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Hermes are literally pumping out products at rates we have never seen before. Louis Vuitton has topped its revenue by $22 billion in 2023 thanks to mass-produced items like the Neverfull bag, which now they've come out with a new version of the Neverfull bag. If you haven't seen it yet, let me pop it on the screen. But this bag, by the way, is being handed out to influencers right now like freaking candy, which is funny because a lot of influencers used to hate on the Neverfull, but now that they're getting this new version for free, it's suddenly the greatest bag out there. So how is any of this exclusive anymore? If everyone can have it, where is the luxury in that? The focus has shifted from creating rare, one-of-a-kind pieces to mass-producing items just to keep up with the demand. And honestly, I think that's where luxury brands are kind of losing their appeal. And I like to take Miu Miu as a brand for an example. I feel like Miu Miu is one of those brands that literally just follows trends and puts out items that are trending on TikTok, trending on social media. It's one of those brands you can almost compare to fast fashion, right? And you might think I'm crazy, but if you do some research and really look into this, a lot of today's luxury brands aren't that far from brands like Zara and H&M. We're seeing so many high-end luxury brands even doing quick collabs with places like H&M. And so the line has become increasingly blurred between luxury fashion and fast fashion, in my opinion. And a lot of people aren't talking about
hype train in order to sell you stuff you don't need as your classic fast fashion brand. The thing is, before TikTok and fast fashion, People were criticizing luxury as leading the trend cycle. But when fast fashion came along and sped that up with the help of social media, no one questioned when luxury also started speeding up and trying to keep up with that demand. It's become more and more common for luxury brands to release more collections and do one-off collaborations and just churn out more products, just like fast fashion does. Albeit, yes, on a smaller scale, but we're going to talk about that next. The next characteristic.
Let's start off with the first topic, which is going to be the sales associate experience. When you go into a luxury boutique, you are going in to have a great experience. You're going in to be treated great because you're potentially going to spend a lot of money. So this is something that has really bothered me. Remember when walking into a luxury boutique felt like an experience? You were treated like royalty, offered drinks such as water, maybe even champagne, given personalized advice, and the whole shopping trip was just so special. And I personally remember this many years ago when I bought my first Louis Vuitton bag, and then even when I was back in Germany and I remember being in Munich and buying some items from YSL, everybody was so nice and so friendly. And nowadays it's like we walk in there and it almost feels like we're being ignored. I can't be the only one who has felt like I was literally bothering the sales associates just by walking into the boutique. I've been in stores where I was literally ignored until I asked for help. And this wasn't some high street store, it was a luxury boutique. For example, I remember walking into I want to say it was a Gucci store, and I felt like they were doing me a favor by acknowledging my presence. If you think about it, you're spending thousands of dollars, and for what? To feel like an inconvenience? It's clear that the personal touch that once defined luxury shopping has definitely disappeared over the years, and in most cases, you're not treated like a valued client, but rather just like another sale. And how is that really luxury anymore? I think a lot of people are ignoring the fact that, sales associates treat you like shit, and we just kind of accept it and we're like, whatever, we want this item, so we're just going to put up with it. But if you were to go in just a normal regular store where prices were normal, things weren't labeled Louis Vuitton or Gucci, would you accept that same behavior from the person working there? I don't know. Now, moving on to number 2, and this is really important. I need you guys to really listen to this, and if you take nothing away from this video, or if you chime in on nothing, I really would love your opinion here, or I would want you to make notes, because this is something that has definitely changed my view on luxury fashion. And I'm not here to bash, luxury fashion. Guys, I'm still buying luxury items. I still like luxury items, but I do believe that this is a conversation that needs to be had. So what does made in Italy actually mean? Let's talk about it. So this has, like I said, really changed the way that I look at luxury fashion. Those little words, made in Italy, we've been trained to believe that made in Italy means top tier quality, handcrafted by an artist who've honed their skills over decades, right? But here's the truth. Most people don't talk about, and this is really interesting, and I did a lot of research on this, but nowadays almost anyone can set up a factory in Italy, manufacture goods there, and legally slap on the Made in Italy label. It doesn't necessarily mean that the item was carefully crafted or made from superior materials. In fact, some of the materials used could be sourced from places where labor and materials are cheaper. The item is assembled in Italy, and voila, you have a luxury product with a high-end price tag. It's clear that this is really clever marketing, but at the end of the day, does made in Italy still carry the same weight that it used to? A mass-produced factory item is all it takes to claim a luxury status. What are we really paying for? And I think that, I don't know, we don't really talk about this enough. Sure, the whole Dior scandal happened, right? Where we learned that they were mass producing items, doing all of these horrible things, exploiting workers, literally removing safety equipment to make the production process faster, having workers sleep in the factories. Now, I'm gonna sum this up and make it a little easier to understand what I just said. So basically they can have workers from China set up in Italy and just produce items there. So, and then they just slap the label made in Italy on the item, which if you think about it is, it's honestly brilliant on their end. They can still use workers where they're saving a shit ton of money on materials, on products, on labor. They treat those people like crap, which is no different from a store like Shein or Zara. And then they slap the label made in Italy on it. And we're like, oh my God, this is made in Italy. This must be amazing. Like, this was made in Italy. This is like handcrafted to perfection. And they took their time with it. No.
Never buy a brand new bag ever
Oh
again.
my God, yeah, you told me that.
I will never buy, guys. I will never buy. I will never go to Louis Vuitton or Dior or anywhere, because Business Insider just came out with an article, and we always knew that these companies paid, jack shit to get these bags made.
But they're making them for next to nothing, and they got caught doing this. But I've always since then believed that these big companies, and I go in, I live on Rodeo, like right by Rodeo. I'll go in and I don't get it.
I'll never do this again.
There's such a darkness to me to high-end luxury where people will like sacrifice so much to get something that they think
Means something.
It says something
status.
about who they are.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I know people like sell their fucking bodies. They go into debt. They do so much dark shit to get this bag, and then it costs how much?
It says an Italian investigation revealed that Dior's bags, which sell at a minimum of $2,780, cost around $57 to make. Also, Armani was investigated, with their bags minimally retailing around $1,900, cost about $99 to make. So this kind of fucking shit, you're paying for the name, whatever, just buy secondhand, guys.
That is not true anymore. And I feel like when the whole scandal came out with Dior, we all talked about it for a little bit, and then it was just forgotten. They literally showed us that $4,000 or $5,000 bags cost no more than, what was the number? I forget now, $30, $80, something super cheap to make. And yes, we all know that luxury isn't necessarily about the materials, right? It's not only about the materials. So we're all not stupid. We know that these items aren't really worth that kind of money in terms of material. So you're paying for the name, you're paying for, the brand, you're paying for the experience, all of that stuff that we're talking about today. But at the end of the day, like, it's being mass produced and the quality isn't even good anymore. Then they're using not that great material, and they're exploiting workers and doing all of this stuff, which again makes it no different from any fast fashion store. And people don't want to hear this, people don't want to talk about this, but I mean, it's true. So now let's talk about something that has bothered me for a long time. Now, I don't really consider myself like an influencer, even though I probably am to an extent, a smaller one, a little mini one. But for some reason, a shit ton of luxury items being sent to influencers makes me not want to buy the item. And you guys let me know how you feel about it, but it's just like, why are you pushing this on me so harshly? I should want to buy this because I want to buy it because your brand is amazing. Why are you sending out the new Neverfull to hundreds of influencers that have, just above 10,000 followers? Like, I don't understand what's going on with this. So a lot of you have probably noticed that influencers are receiving luxury items left and right, bags, shoes, clothes, you name it. And they are showing this stuff on Instagram. I've seen influencer after influencer after influencer unboxing this new Neverfull or a pair of Dior sneakers. I mean, when anyone has it, is it even luxury anymore? And let's not forget that brands are sending these products out to influencers, people who are paid to show this stuff to us, right? So we don't even know if they really like it or if they don't. Like, one thing I always took pride in here on my channel, I was always, or am always, so honest with you guys. Like, if I don't like something, I don't like it. If something falls apart, something falls apart. Like this Hermes bracelet, by the way, you guys. I've had this for, I don't know, 7 years, 6 years. it literally fell apart the other day. Like the white little metal came out, and it just, again, it was one of those situations where like my Manolo Blahniks, like the jewel just fell off and it's literally just glued on. And all of these things throughout the years are just like, in my mind, I'm like, like this stuff is really not worth it in terms of materials, which is why now a lot of the times I'm really careful with what I buy, or I buy pre-loved. I don't know. I just don't look at luxury fashion the same. But anyways, like I used to always be so honest with you guys. I bought things that I truly liked. Sure, sometimes I bought trendy things, or still do, but I would be honest. I like it or I don't. And a lot of the times I would go against what other people were saying, because you'd have bags like the pochette. What was it called? The multi-pochette or whatever, that had like all the little, I mean, that freaking bag, like people went crazy over it, right? But it was a shit bag. It was a shit design. It's a shit bag. Nobody talks about it anymore. And now probably so many of you have this freaking $4,000 or $5,000 bag sitting in your closet that you can't get rid of and that you don't even like. Sorry, I hated that bag. So many people were afraid to say that, but I always prided myself in being honest, right? Because that's what I value. I like people who are honest and who really tell me how they feel about things. And so getting things pushed down my throat by a ton of influencers is not going to make me buy something. And for me, it makes the appeal of luxury go away. Now this item to me is no longer desirable. It's no longer luxurious because you're sending it to everyone. It's not special anymore. And then you also have the issue with status, or, you know, the whole status symbol thing. People always get mad when I talk about this, but like, it's a thing. Like, it is a thing. And people will argue with me about, you know, oh, this is not why I'm buying things. But at the end of the day, come on, let's just talk about this. What is luxury fashion really about these days, right? Is it about craftsmanship and quality? Or is it more about status? And this is where people get upset when I say this, because everything we just talked about, we've learned that quality has definitely gone way downhill. Things are becoming more trendy than ever. You know, people aren't very nice to us in the boutique. So let's be real. People aren't always buying these items because they're best made or the most durable. They're buying them for the logo, for the brand name, for the status that comes with owning a piece of Hermes, Chanel, or Louis Vuitton. And you could argue and say that, you know, you love the brand and you love the history and all of that stuff, which I am someone that oftentimes feels that way about certain things. But with all the things mentioned above, that kind of then goes out the window. So it's not just about the product anymore. It's about the product, like what the product presents. And we've been conditioned to think that owning luxury means something about who we are, or I don't know, our place in society or success. And it's definitely a game of status and not craftsmanship. And there's a bunch of videos on YouTube where people are saying, you know, luxury items are for the poor. I do think this is true. I think that the customer in these stores are mid-class people and people on the lower end because they want to be perceived a certain way. Rather, they use credit cards or who knows how they're buying these things. But like the main customer, and you can do your own research, you can look into this, are mid-class people, right? So that is just something that's super, super interesting. You don't see like super, super wealthy people, I don't know, flaunting a bunch of Louis Vuitton stuff, but you might see the girl doing OnlyFans owning a shit ton of Louis stuff. You know, I mean, it's the harsh truth, and there's nothing wrong with OnlyFans. I'm just using that as an example. So let's get to the end of this video. Where is the luxury and luxury fashion today? If you ask me, it's not really about quality anymore. It's about perception. It's about the logo. It's about status. It's about marketing. It used to be about owning something truly special and owning something rare and owning something that not everyone has and owning something unique. But now it feels like we're paying for the name and no longer the craftsmanship or the experience. Things are being pushed on us faster and faster. Things are being mass produced. There's no real uniqueness about any of this anymore. And maybe that's just where we're at now. Luxury isn't about luxury anymore. It's about being a part of some club. And honestly, I think we need to start asking ourselves what we're really paying for when we're buying into some of these brands. Because I know so many people personally that are literally, they hate fast fashion, they hate overconsumption and all of this stuff, yet they're buying so many luxury items that, I'm sorry, I really will say that I feel like a lot of luxury brands have become very similar to some fast fashion brands. And maybe I'll do like a really detailed video about that as well, because I think it's a topic that is worth discussing. You guys let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about this video. What are your thoughts? I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one.